Peace, Stars. It's your boy Evo, the Any Star host of the Dynasty Podcast. I'm going live today. This is on Facebook, Twitter, and Sportscast. Welcome everybody to the show. I was just gonna do a normal audio podcast to get these thoughts out, but I said, when I'm not doing nothing, might as well see who's out there, man. But right, so we'll start the show. Before we started, man, you see I got the Diehards hat. That's my normal hat that I rock for the show. But for this instance, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but we got our guy. Schmurda. You know, I don't like to give light to criminals, because I mean, my man needed to be in jail. But for those that are watching it live, there goes the hat right there. So for like little portion of the show, let me switch hats. I'm gonna be a diva for this episode, so I'm gonna switch hats a little bit. That's the Schmurda hat. So somebody said on the internet that when he gets out of jail, the hat's gonna come to him like the Thor's hammer. We'll see what happens, man. But you know, that's New Yorkers talking shit. But yeah, man. I'm here to talk about a couple things, man. Something that kind of annoyed me a little bit. This CC Sabathia, he has this podcast with this other guy. Well, anyway, they go by R2C2, which is a dope name because CC is C2 and the other guy I think is Richie somebody. He has two R's in his name, so that's dope. R2C2, that's dope. So they got a podcast anyway. So the topic of the podcast, they had Kemba on there. So of course I got to ask him, did he consider the Knicks? So anyway, let's just watch it.
Were the Knicks a serious consideration for you when you were a free agent this past year?
To be honest, yes. Yes, very serious, very. No, at one point, yes, very serious. Before Boston actually came along, the Knicks was, one of my top priorities actually, because I was thinking that they were going to get another player, but it didn't work out.
You made the right choice, dog. I'm gonna say it for you. You made the right choice, bro.
Yeah, that's really all I can say though. The Knicks they were definitely a priority at one point.
Yeah. Did that other player's name rhyme with Slevin Laurent?
Nah.
You know what's crazy though, Ruko? I think the Knicks are like a serious consideration for everybody who becomes a free agent. People want to play in New York. Like, why you think Katie and Kyrie went to Brooklyn? You know what I'm saying? Like, They want people. Guys want to play in New York. It's just hard to play for that organization. You know what I'm saying? And put yourself under that kind of scrutiny. Like, this is a basketball town. The media is going to go crazy. Like, so you sign a big deal and come in, you're supposed to win no matter who else is on the roster. You know what I'm saying? So that makes it tough, man.
Yeah. If Kemba Walker's like, standing next to Kevin Knox and they're like, how come Kemba's not leading him to 50 wins? No offense, Kevin Knox, you might turn into a nice player, but you're not ready for that yet, So yeah. I get wanting a running mate.
Yeah, so I have to play the whole thing, man, just so you can get everything that was in context. Because I see people on Instagram and on Twitter, they're posting quotes and stuff. But I mean, like, as if somebody had an exclusive story on it. It came from this podcast. That's what I hate. As reported by this reporter, as reported by that reporter. It wasn't reported by any reporter. It was reported by R2C2, their podcast, whatever. Kemba Walker was the guest, so that's when he said it. So it's a lot of interesting things there, man. Like, I mean, Kemba Walker said he gave us consideration to sign with us, whatever. So anyway, behind the scenes, the Knicks probably were doing their work. They were doing their due diligence. They thought guys were gonna come, but when it came down to signing and whatever, guys chickened out. So Kyrie and Durant, I think they was I talked about that during the time. I really don't rehash that, but I mean, these guys were already in talks with playing with each other. So that's they've been talking about that, but the Nets was it's perfect for them because they don't have to worry about being on the back page, because no matter what's happened with the Nets this year, the Nets are in the bubble, all this other stuff this happening. Nobody gives a fuck about the Nets, bro. Nobody cares about the Nets. It's all about this team right here, the New York Knicks. So even the Knicks are not in the bubble, we still are like the number one news story out of all the LA NBA. The NBA is playing right now, and one of the major stories now is this Kemba Walker thing. That's the reason why I'm talking about it. So I mean, the getting Tom Thibodeau, coaching search for like 3 weeks. We were like bad news all over television networks and stuff like that. Meanwhile, the NBA is supposed to be coming back. So why are the Knicks still in everybody's mouth? I can't take it. So anyway, the question is, like, who was Kemba Walker going to come with? Because he said, you mentioned somebody that rhymed with basically Kevin Durant, right? So who was Kenyon Martin supposed to be coming here with? So that's like the big conversation there. So if you think about it, like the different free agents and stuff like that, if somebody like Kemba Walker, you would want somebody that he could pass to. So it would have to have been some kind of big man or whatever. To me, it's just like this crying over spilled milk. This is old news and stuff. So I mean, like I get it. It gets fans excited to talk about stuff like this. It gets people to talk something to talk about. But truthfully, Kemba went to where he went to. He should go there. Kyrie wasn't a good fit for them in Boston. They actually needed, like guys like basically got an isolation play that's not going to be holding the ball because Kemba gives up the ball too. He doesn't just stand there and dribble through his legs 40 times. So that's why their other two young guys are playing so well. It's because the ball is put into their hands so they can do some operation too. And if you got Kyrie on your team, you're not going to have any room to do anything. Especially two guys. There's one thing is one guy, but just have if you're going to have two major scorers, Kyrie Irving is not the guy for you. So can Kemba Walker pick the right place? But as they went to go on, CC did make the point that players do want to play for the Knicks, but it's just that it's just the organization. Now it wasn't like that's another quote that people take out of context. He didn't really say organization. It was just like the media, the New York sports media. Every time something happens, they have a field day with everything. So that plays into the coaching search and all this and stuff. So I mean, like let's say for instance, if we were to sign Jason Kidd instead of Tom Thibodeau, of course there would have been like 47 different news stories about Jason Kidd and his drinking habit, Jason Kidd and abusing his wife and other things too. His son would have came out the woodwork. It would have been so many different negative things that easily could be put out there, and that's exactly what the New York media is going to do. And then every fan that watches this, everybody that reads those papers and everything like that, that clicks those articles on these various networks and stuff like that, they eat that stuff up. So that would have been a firestorm right off the bat. Right now, Tom Thibodeau, we all know that he's a basketball lifer. He's 65 years old. I believe he was never married. I'm not sure if he has any kids and stuff like that. Not saying that's a bad thing. But it kind of is, you know what I'm saying? 65 years old, that's kind of sad. All you want to do is play. All you want to do is talk basketball. You know what I'm saying? So this is the type of guy that Knicks fans are. Knicks fans have that spirit at heart. So to have this guy to be our coach is a great thing too, man. But as I talk about Tom Thibodeau, somebody called him the Ghost Whisperer. Is that a thing? The Ghost Whisperer? Yeah, I had to think about it myself. So let's Google it together. You know what I'm saying? While we're here, because I heard that. I just couldn't believe it. I didn't really write nothing down for it, but let's just look at it together, man. I'm gonna Google it right here. It says Tom Thibodeau, right? Tom Thibodeau with the three vowels at the end. All right, so it's Tom Thibodeau. What is it? Point guard whisperer. Let's just push enter on that shit. What pops up? There's actually a couple things. You got somebody posted something from Bleacher Report, somebody from Reddit, and you just go down the line, a whole bunch of stuff. Anyway, the ones that say actual point guard whisperer. I'm just gonna skim through it here. I just see names. I guess they're gonna try to add these guys here: DJ Augustine, Nate Robinson, John Lucas, CJ Watson. Of course, the MVP, that he brought there. I'm quite sure they're gonna give him credit for Derrick Rose being the MVP, but I think Derrick Rose is the one that got himself to being the MVP because he was jumping over guys at the time, act like the Bionic Man. So I think he might have had a play in that as well. But I mean, I get it. People like to give these coaches he's the one that made him do this, made him do that. You got to forget. There's a human element here. Like the human being that's doing the work has to actually do the work. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if the coach is yelling at the guy or whatever. And like I said, Tom Thibodeau, 65, basketball lifer, but he never played in the NBA. So what is he going to teach a Derrick Rose or how to get better? You know what I'm saying? So the player has to have talent, and of course the coach is going to put them in a position to succeed. So but that's not the same thing though. It's two different things there. So let's look at the Reddit article. Reddit article. They just talking about DJ Augustine. So that's like a slap to these certain players because Nate Robinson, he averaged 17 points with the Knicks. And just him playing for the Bulls, he saved the Bulls in the playoffs when Derrick Rose got hurt. So people forget about that, but they never re-signed Nate Robinson. That's another part of the story. Devin, DJ Augustine, John Lucas, CJ Watson, whatever, man. And then that's just that with that. There's always two sides of these stories, man. So I mean, you can't just be like, oh, Tom Thibodeau made this guy, or whatever, or gonna have the nerve to call him a point guard whisperer. Because if there was another article I saw where we were talking about Rubio. I don't see it here, but they were saying Rubio, and they had the point guard whisperer with Rubio. Let's see if I can pull out the article just from argument's sake. I almost had to ask you guys how to spell Rubio. So here goes. Tom Thibodeau, Rick Rubio, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to click it, man. But, I mean, you can see this article is written here associating point guard whisperer and Ricky Rubio. Ricky Rubio was already like an assist man from the day he first got to the NBA. And also when he was in Real Madrid and over there in Europe and stuff like that. He's always been a great point guard. So what did Tom Thibodeau do to Ricky Rubio to make him a better point guard? I mean, maybe like put them in different spots, something different from a different coach. But it's not like the Timberwolves were winning over there. So, I mean, it's like I said, there's so many different stories that you could pull out the same situation. So, anyway, I just think it's bullshit, man. Like Knicks fans, just basketball fans in general, they like to latch on to certain things. And, it's just annoying as a Knicks fan to see stuff like that. That I feel like I have to come on here to go live and talk about it. Let's just see who's here, man. I shout out some guys here on Sportscaster. You got Panther Princess. Panther Princess dropped me some tickets. He gave me 10 tickets. Thank you very much. Panther Princess, not sure if you're a male or female. What else we got here? We got Elway or Highway. I love these names, man. All right, so let's see who's in the comments here. We got State of New York Knicks. State of New York Knicks, spilled milk. What else you got to say here? Talking about too much garbage going around. Yeah, man. You already know. Katie got hurt. And, of course, the classic, LOL. Thanks for tuning in, Sliz, man. Yo, we got to get up together, man. You actually should be on this podcast with me right now. So if you're not doing nothing, man, hit me up. I'll send you a link. Maybe you can get down with the show. But, yeah, man, they also equate the whole point guard whisperer thing to DSJ. Now, DSJ, people forget, man. DSJ averaged 15 points a game one year. Let me pull up the stats exactly. I believe he played 21 games with the Knicks after he got after that trade. Looking it up now, checking out my data banks here. That's my phone. So anyway, with the Knicks after the trade, he played 21 games that first year when he got traded to us. 21 games. He averaged 14 points a game, 5 assists, 2.8 rebounds. For some reason, these young guys can't shoot free throws. 56% from the free throw line, 46% from the field. I mean, from the 2-point line, and 28% from three. So I mean, too much emphasis was put on the 3-point line, 28%, because somehow the dude was still able to produce 14 points a game. With the 56% free throw percentage and 28% from three, and he still averaged 14 points a game. If he was to round those numbers up, you can easily add maybe 4 points to that total. So we're talking about an 18-point a game scorer with 5 assists and what is that, 1.3 steals. I mean, that's a decent point guard. So what the fuck happened this year? You know what I'm saying? You got 5 points a game for this year, 2.9 assists, 2.3 rebounds, 0.8 assists, 0.8 steals, excuse me. You want to talk about his what was his grandmother or his aunt that passed away? I know that takes a toll on the player as well, but I mean, he was out all in Europe all year the whole summer with Stephen Curry, and he was playing ball with the other kid Trey Young, in workouts and stuff like that. So the guy was working out all summer. So there's no excuse for him to show up and just act like he's just never played a game before. This is not an isolated thing, because like I said, he averaged 15 points a game his rookie year, 15-5, 13-4 the next year, basically 13-5 the next year. And before he got traded, he was averaging 12-4. So I mean, the guy is a good player, but something happened this year with the lights on him and everything that's going on in his life that sent him on a path where he was just like one of the worst players that I've ever seen. I think he might have had like 1 or 2 good games I think he might have had like 10 assists one game. I'm not gonna look it up, but I mean, he did have flashes of what he was doing before. I mean, because we wouldn't even be looking for a point guard if he was doing what he did when he first got here. Even if he was just doing his career averages, which is 12 and a 4.5. If he was doing that this year, then nobody really would be complaining. They would be like, oh, then you can start doing that Tom Thibodeau is a point guard whisperer stuff at people, So it's just bugged out, man. It's just crazy. And then for sure, if let's say if we do end up keeping DSJ and all of a sudden that he starts playing well under Tom Thibodeau, they're gonna totally give him all the credit, And then if you look at it like this too, like let's say if we draft like a Melo Ball, right, and then we still hold on to DSJ. So you got DSJ and Melo Ball. Let's say DSJ has a bounce back year. Melo Ball's on the team. You're talking about RJ Barrett is definitely gonna have a boost in his thing. Mitchell Robinson's gonna have another boost as well. Just go down the line. I know people don't like Beyblade, Julius Randle, but add another player to that because we're gonna have money. So we're gonna have enough money to add another big starter, or maybe just do like we did last year and just get a bunch of fringe players that make 15 to like $10 million a year, $8 million a year. Get a couple of those guys, this time the right mix or whatever. We might actually have a really good team. But I mean, we've been saying the same shit for the last 15 years, man. So what else is going on here? Yeah, man. Let me see what's going on, Sportscaster. Sportscaster, we got another 50 ticket guy from FB Bill. FB Bill, what's up? A couple new names here, man. I know this is late, man, because I really had to get my thoughts out, but I had to do something because it's my Knicks, man. Like I said, I was gonna do like a devoted audio podcast type of thing, but I figured since I'm awake and whatever, and I see guys all on IG and all on Twitter going live, I figured I might as well just see what's going on out here. So if anybody else is out there, I see we got Slizzy out there watching. Anybody else on Sportscast, hit me up in that chat there so I can shout you out and maybe start flipping some topics back and forth. Same thing with what's that? Twitter. We got Slizzy watching me on Twitter. I'm also on Facebook too. Anybody tuning in on Facebook, please check it out. So yeah, man. So what are we gonna do here? That's it's just all leading down the path to the draft. So when that draft comes, what do we do? Look at this roster. What are we gonna do with this roster? I know a lot of these guys they don't have guaranteed contracts, so you can just basically count all those guys out. Straight from Bobby Portis to everybody else down the line. Whoever doesn't have a guaranteed contract is all gone. Wayne Ellington. I don't want to see Wayne Ellington again with his crazy beard or whatever. So I mean, you can just count all those guys out. The only guy that's definitely going to be here is Julius Randle unless he gets traded. DSJ is under contract, so he's not going anywhere unless he gets traded. Also, Frank, he's still pending as well, so he's going to be here. So you got guys like what's the guy? Alfred Payton. Alfred Payton's not going to be here more than likely because we have too many guys under contract, and it's too much trouble to try to accommodate somebody like that, to try to keep him. And when you have other guys basically do the same thing. So anyway, what I'm getting is that we're going to have cap space, so we're going to have enough to basically get a max player. Somebody that's making 20 something or even up to like 30 something, depending on how we finagle this money. So we can have like 30, 40 million or whatever the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? So we'll be able to sign somebody. So you got to take all that into account, man. So, it's just interesting of how good this Knicks team can go in a short amount of time. And we have all the good guys in place to make this type of thing happen. The whole front office is revamped. And, we got our coach and, Mike Woodson's supposed to be back, and a couple other different guys have been mentioned as well. So we just gotta look forward, man. Right now we have all the bullets or whatever you want to say to fire this gun. You know what I'm saying? So right now we just need players. And right now we can't talk about last year. We can't talk about the players that we might get or the players that we have on this roster too that won't be on the roster. We can't talk about none of that stuff. But what we could do is start to look ahead. Maybe while you're watching the bubble, do some scouting. Because me personally, I can't watch the bubble, man, because there's no fans in the stands. And you got a dude in Indiana, keep forgetting Money's name, but he dropped 53 points, man. That's a dude. He could score, but he can't score like that. I think he might have had 40. I think that 40 might have been his high. I mean, he's capable of doing it, but I mean, the reason why he dropped 53 points because there's nobody else watching. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody in the stands. There's no hecklers and stuff like that. So guys are in the arena. They don't have to worry about all the scrutiny, all the big lights, and all the camera work and all the stuff like that. They could play without fans. It takes the stress off of you. So all the stuff that's happening, man. I'm just not excited about it. I could watch a little bit. Maybe I'll watch some highlights and stuff like that just to look. But I can't sit and watch any of these games without real fans on it in the squad. To me, it's almost like watching a 2K game. So that's that, man. I just can't wait to Knicks basketball, man. We have to wait so long for it. It's gonna be like in January, damn near. The way things are going, it might not be until March. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Shout out to all you Knicks fans out there. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, if anybody's want to chime in on Sportscaster, please go right ahead. We could talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Once again, shout out to FB Bill for the 50 tickets. Thank you very much. You got Panther Princess with the 10 tickets. And shout out to Slizzy, man. Me and Slizzy, we did like 6 podcasts. I mean, we're probably gonna have another one coming up soon. I actually should have got him on here. I should have hit him up because I didn't really know if he was gonna pop up or not. But he did. So look out for that, man. I'm gonna try to have a couple more guests on here. This is like a new live podcast thing that I'm doing here. So I just had to get that thought out with the Kemba Walker and the Tom Thibodeau, the point guard whisperer bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So I have to be the first one to say it, man. So all your favorite networks and platforms we'll probably talk about that tomorrow. But you heard it first, man, with the Die Knicks podcast, man. So anyway, if anybody's not gonna chime in, I'm gonna sign off. It's your boy Eru, the Anti-Star, host of the Die Knicks podcast. You can see Eru, where is it? Right there. You know what I'm saying? Tune in. Probably I gotta try to get this a little earlier, man. 10:30 is too late for the kid. So I'm gonna try to get on a little earlier. Maybe like 7:30. I've been trying to shoot for 7:30 for the longest. And I'm also been trying to get up on the weekend to try something, man. But we'll see what happens as this goes on. Anyway, this has been Serious Consideration. Like I said, we talked about Walker, we talked about Tom Thibodeau, point guard whisperer, and a little bit of other stuff too, man. So anyway, I'm signing off. Evil to Any Star, Die Knicks podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.